science and religion. And the first thing I would say is it is very true that one problem with talking in general about relationships between science and religion, it's a nice overview to look at, but when it gets down to doing the work, it's a religion and a topic, right? But now that I've said that, the other point about this, I'm talking about a dialogue, but I'll argue that we're not at a place where the dialogue is actually on equal terms yet. So if you picture science, religion, and arrows back and forth, I think out of necessity right now, the arrow has to go in a, my daughter's doing vectors right now. The arrow that goes from science to religion needs to be bolder and bigger right now. And that's a result of the contrast approach that's been active for so many years now. One more thing about that. Picture a circle. This is where I wish I had my PowerPoint. So you have a circle. And this is actually a diagram I have borrowed from Eugenie Scott at the National Center for Science Education, who spends her lifetime now paying attention to what's going on in local districts about teaching evolution. And she explains it this way. She wants people to understand that there are different ways that we know the world. So she draws a circle, and then she divides that circle into 3 pieces, and she puts personal experience in 1/3 of it. In the other third of it, she puts science. And in the other third of it, she puts authority. And then she draws another line in that third and writes revelation, so that you can recognize that for some people, revelation is authority. And her point with that diagram is she wants people to understand that science is a particular way of knowing the world. And it depends on natural explanations for natural phenomena. And that can be different than how you know the world through your own experiences and how you know the world in contact with your religious traditions. Okay? Now, where does religion or theology fit in that diagram? It's a circle that's got to capture all 3 of them. Now, for different traditions, that circle shifts around. For different individuals in the same tradition, that circle shifts around. But my point here is I think you can make some arguments about this from a philosophical basis, but for the most part, the average scientist can go, and certainly the work I did in the lab, I can go in the lab and cook up my rock compositions and model the interior of a planet without ever having to worry about religion or what it says about the world. I can do science. I can make progress. I don't think you can do theology and make progress in theology without paying attention to what science has learned about the natural world. I think that's I think it's from my perspective, it's saying that, and I am a theist, that God's creation and how God created doesn't matter. And I don't think that's true. I think it's a showstopper for theology. I think it's not an honest conversation. But that